Imagine a simple, daily habit that could transform your gut, reduce inflammation, boost immunity, and even protect your brain and heart. It doesn't require expensive supplements, complicated diets, or extreme lifestyle changes. All it takes is adding fermented foods to your daily routine. Today, we're diving into the science behind fermented foods, showing how these age-old dietary staples can create a more diverse microbiome, lower chronic inflammation, and enhance overall health, all supported by real research from the world's leading institutions. Fermented foods, like yogurt, kefir, kimchi, sauerkraut, miso, and kombucha have been staples in human diets for centuries. Traditionally, fermentation was a way to preserve food, but modern science reveals that these foods are not just safe, they are beneficial. They contain live microorganisms, or probiotics, that can colonize the gut, restore microbial balance, and enhance metabolic and immune functions. Studies show that individuals consuming fermented foods daily have a significantly more diverse gut microbiome, which is linked to lower rates of inflammation, obesity, and even mental health disorders. Why is a diverse microbiome so important? The gut microbiome, composed of trillions of bacteria, fungi, and other microbes, communicates directly with your immune system, brain, and organs. A diverse microbiome is resilient, capable of protecting the body against pathogens, regulating metabolism, and reducing chronic inflammation. Conversely, a restricted or imbalanced microbiome is associated with autoimmune diseases, metabolic syndrome, cardiovascular problems, and cognitive decline. Daily consumption of fermented foods supplies beneficial microbes that support microbial diversity and overall health, acting as a natural, edible defense system for your body. Recent research highlights the anti-inflammatory effects of fermented foods. A study published in Cell demonstrated that individuals who ate at least one serving of fermented foods per day experienced significant reductions in inflammatory markers in the bloodstream. This is crucial because chronic inflammation is one of the primary drivers of aging, metabolic disease, and degenerative conditions. By introducing beneficial bacteria and bioactive compounds from fermented foods, you can actively modulate your immune response, reduce systemic inflammation, and support cellular repair mechanisms that slow the aging process. One of the most fascinating discoveries is how fermented foods influence brain health through the gut-brain axis. The gut produces neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, and its microbes communicate with the brain via the vagus nerve and metabolic pathways. Studies suggest that consuming fermented foods can improve mood, reduce anxiety, and enhance cognitive performance. In one randomized controlled trial, participants who consumed daily fermented foods reported lower stress and improved emotional well-being, highlighting the profound connection between gut health and mental health. Fermented foods also play a crucial role in metabolic health. Probiotics and bioactive compounds from these foods help regulate blood sugar, improve insulin sensitivity, and modulate lipid metabolism. Clinical studies have shown that including fermented foods in the diet reduces visceral fat accumulation, lowers cholesterol, and supports a healthy weight, even without major calorie restriction. This makes fermented foods a powerful tool not just for digestion, but for longevity and chronic disease prevention. The immune system is another key beneficiary. Roughly 70% of your immune cells reside in the gut-associated lymphoid tissue. A diverse and balanced microbiome strengthens immune responses, improving your ability to fight infections while reducing overactive immune activity that causes autoimmune disease. Daily fermented foods provide live bacteria that educate and support your immune system, enhancing its efficiency and balance. This translates into fewer infections, less chronic inflammation, and a stronger defense system overall. But how do you practically include fermented foods in your daily routine? The approach is simple and adaptable. Start with one serving per day, such as a cup of yogurt at breakfast, a tablespoon of miso in soup, or a small portion of kimchi with lunch. Gradually increase servings to 2 or 3 per day, ensuring variety across different fermented foods to maximize microbial diversity. Pairing these foods with fiber-rich vegetables, whole grains, and legumes feeds the beneficial bacteria, creating a synergistic effect that further enhances gut diversity and reduces inflammation. It's also worth noting that the benefits of fermented foods are cumulative. Consuming them consistently over weeks and months leads to sustained improvements in microbiome diversity, inflammatory markers, and metabolic health. Even short-term trials, lasting just 4 to 6 weeks, demonstrate measurable reductions in CRP, C-reactive protein, and other inflammatory biomarkers, as well as improvements in insulin sensitivity and lipid profiles. Long-term incorporation can provide lifelong protection against metabolic, cardiovascular, and neurodegenerative diseases. Beyond the physical benefits, there's an emotional and psychological element to fermented foods. Preparing or choosing fermented foods can increase mindfulness around eating, encourage healthier meal patterns, and cultivate a sense of connection to traditional food practices. People who regularly consume fermented foods often report improved well-being, satisfaction, and overall quality of life, creating a positive feedback loop that reinforces adherence to healthy habits. Recent human studies have even compared fermented food consumption to high-fiber diets, showing that fermented foods uniquely reduce systemic inflammation, while fiber alone increases microbiome diversity but has a smaller effect on inflammatory markers. This highlights that the live microorganisms in fermented foods provide benefits beyond prebiotics, demonstrating that eating fermented foods is a critical strategy for improving both gut diversity and systemic health. From a longevity perspective, daily fermented foods contribute to healthy aging. A diverse gut supports metabolic resilience, efficient nutrient absorption, and balanced immune function, all of which reduce risks of age-related diseases such as type 2 diabetes, heart disease, neurodegeneration, and cancer. By integrating fermented foods into your routine, you are actively building a foundation for a longer, healthier, and more vibrant life. Safety is important. While fermented foods are generally safe for most people, some individuals may experience bloating or digestive discomfort. When first introducing them, start with small portions and gradually increase intake. Those with compromised immune systems should consult a healthcare professional before consuming unpasteurized or high-probiotic foods. Choosing a variety of fermented foods ensures a broad spectrum of beneficial bacteria, maximizing microbiome diversity while minimizing side effects. In conclusion, consuming fermented foods daily is a simple, natural, and science-backed strategy to improve gut microbiome diversity, reduce chronic inflammation, enhance metabolic and immune function, and support cognitive and cardiovascular health. These benefits extend far beyond digestion. They are critical for healthy aging and longevity. By incorporating fermented foods into your meals consistently, you harness the power of microbial allies that have co-evolved with humans for centuries, creating a protective ecosystem inside your body that supports long-term vitality and disease prevention. The message is clear. Small, consistent changes like fermented foods every day can have profound effects on your health span and quality of life. Science is catching up to what traditional diets have long suggested: healthy, balanced microbes equal a healthier, longer life.